In this video, we will demonstrate creating repository connections to the user's engineering model repositories through the Syndeia web dashboard. Remember that the web dashboard accesses Syndeia Cloud through its REST API and can view and display the contents of the underlying data repositories. The data are displayed as a tree in two places in the Syndeia web dashboard. From the Repositories page in the left-hand menu, and under the Workspace tab on the Projects page. The key difference between these is that in the Repositories page, only information from the lower-level repositories is displayed. On the Workspace page, the user can also see intermodel relations from the active digital thread project. In this video, we will cover both views, demonstrating the common features involving authentication into the repositories. In the repository tree, the left column displays all the repositories this instance of Syndeia Cloud is set up to connect to. Access requires the repository URL and authentication credentials. If we want to add a new repository, for example, an additional Windchill PLM repo, we hover over the Windchill category and click the plus icon. The new form allows me to add the necessary information: the URL, a name and description, the authentication type, my individual username, and password. The URL, name, and description will be stored in Syndeia Cloud and available to all users, but my personal username and password are stored locally in encrypted form and available only to me. Depending on the repository, the user may need to provide other information to create the repository connection, or use alternate authentication types. For example, with ERIS, there are several special fields to complete. Your repository administrator should be able to provide this info. In the Profiles page, there is an option near the bottom where the user can decide whether or not to have Syndeia store their usernames and passwords. If they are not stored, Syndeia will require users to enter their credentials fresh in each session of the web dashboard. If I wanted to add or update my credentials for an existing repository, I can select that repository. I don't have stored credentials for the Windchill 12.1 repo and get this warning message when I try to access those contents. But clicking on the gear icon gives me a form to enter my username and password. The Test button allows me to check for access, and Update stores them for future use. Notice that I'm blurring some proprietary info in these demos. If I do not have access to the underlying repository, for example Windchill, but do have access to a digital thread project with Windchill 12.1 connections, I will be able to see the names and URLs of the Windchill elements that are connected into that project, but will not be able to access all the data about that element in Windchill or see and connect other Windchill elements. In Syndeia Release 3.7, an additional option has been added to repository settings. The Preferences subtab allows users to configure which artifact attributes are displayed in the Syndeia web dashboard. For the Jira at Intercax repository, we can see that 6 attributes for artifact type story within the Urban Systems project can be displayed. We can edit that list with the pen icon, or delete it entirely with the trash can. I can add a new preference with the Add button. Syndeia loads all artifact types available within that repository, which may take some time to complete if there are many custom types. we select Task with a specific key 10254 in the Maritime ESOH project. Select three attributes: Assignee, Reporter, and Summary, and Save. It now appears on the list. Returning to the Workspace page, we select a task in this JIRA project and open the Details page. In the section marked Attributes, the values of these three attributes are now displayed. They are not, however, editable. Additional options for displaying these attributes, such as on nodes in the Digital Thread Explorer, see videos 111 and 112, are planned for future Syndeia releases. In video 110, we will learn more about viewing repositories through the Syndeia web dashboard.